The next area of interest that I chose was the students with limited or interrupted formal education, or SLIFE as they called it by DeCapua. I recognize that name from ELL 301, and I kind of remember a little bit that we talked about them as a group, but wasn't really too sure that I was until I read the article, and it was fascinating to me on the education standpoint because um, of the very intensive intervention that would be needed to fully and appropriately assimilate these students into the classroom. But it's a challenge that is pertinent and necessary, and and the reason why there's a high dropout rate with this um, area, as DeCapua said, probably has to do with the fact that a lot of teachers aren't patient or trained to incorporate them in the class. Now, um, there are a lot of important things to consider when having such a student in your classroom. But the main thing is that you have to be culturally responsive. You have to understand where the student is coming from, what their background is, what it was like to live where they were. And not only that, but also to understand their background. So why they don't have formal education, why they live in education is because of um, war, poverty, inaccessible education. You know, it's never really cut and dry, and it's important to understand what and not be frustrated by their inability to, as DeCaprio said, do school. It's a very important skill to learn, but it's also a very hard skill to learn, especially if you have no background in it. So I think DeCaprio was really calling for us to be culturally responsive, seek out ways to um, know more about what the student's background is, what it was like, where they're from, and maybe there you can find manners to bring to your classroom to have them want to participate, to find ways to communicate with them that they're familiar with and they might know the terms for. Um, but just I think in all and be kind, be the teachers that we were meant to be. And remember why we went into it would be the reason I think DeCap was behind it all, saying it's um, look at it from a collaborative standpoint, like have the students work in groups. There are ways around um, than just having the students sit there until they've had enough because they don't know how to do it. It's a taught skill, and so it's important to teach those skills gingerly. And it's a very interesting population to work with, but it's pertinent to eventually make progress and find success, and that's what we're all about, and that's what we're looking for.